I am smiling.
Why does that say 12 minutes live? We've been live for 12 minutes?
Damn.
And start this one over.
2 seconds.
We live?
All I'm gonna say streaming.
Sending data, streaming on YouTube currently.
Make it hot.
All right now, y'all.
Welcome back to In the Cut Live, Season 3. It's your boy DJ Ball, man. We got a whole cast and crew of people in here today. Everybody's back. We have a special guest today. Miss Sarah's in the building. What's up, Sarah?
Hey. Y'all nice over here. It's nice.
Welcome to In the Cut Live, man. We're going to have a good time tonight. So usually on In the Cut Live, if y'all don't know, we usually have a really good time, man. We talk about all kind of topics from current events to anything like that. But tonight it's going to get a little heavy. Tonight we are discussing mental health. Something in our community we need to really sit back and like take the time out to like understand what it is. We diagnosing ourselves with all this stuff and we don't really know what we're doing. So tonight we're gonna get into that. We can get into the definitions. We're gonna get into signs that you need to watch for from your friends and your family members, things of that nature. It's gonna be a good show and our personal experiences, so you'll get to know us a little bit better. What's up, Tori?
You're gonna be my cousin after this.
Hey, y'all. I'm here to talk about mental health. Tori crazy. If y'all ain't know Tori crazy.
Tori crazy.
Period. I'm excited to be here.
We got some proud mental health
Happy to have
Asians.
Sarah here with us. We got to know each other a little bit outside of In the Cut Live, and I'm just happy that she was able to come and be here with us tonight. So I know we're gonna have a good time and really talk about some of these tough issues. And you know, like we always do, make light of it a little bit, but no harm, no foul. We can't feel for anybody. It just, you know, we handle it the way that we handle it. So I'm happy to be here.
Big facts. All right, well, we glad to have you. Open up tonight. Don't be like that, because I know you'll be like, I ain't ready yet. So be ready when I get to you. What's up, Bella? Welcome back.
What's good?
Okay, Bella.
How you feel about tonight's show?
I'm ready. I like deep conversation, so let's do it.
Let's do it. What God got for me, let's bring him in. Let's do it. What's up, Joe?
Yeah.
You ready to open up?
You know, I'm serious. And I felt attacked when she said we're gonna make light of it. I feel like she had given niggas a pre-warn.
We gonna make a light of
Because of
it.
me. Like,
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
I mean, maybe you.
I'm
too.
fucked up too, so but you know what I'm saying? Like I laugh the shit off. Like I use humor as a trauma response.
same.
So we're gonna get into that.
But that's what we saying. Like that's what we do as a people.
And it's,
Sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it ain't, because it's hard to see the signs when you do
Because I'm the
that.
type of nigga, I go to a funeral and look for something to laugh at.
Oh no, we
we
playing.
gonna laugh
We
at
still
it.
on that
Yeah.
funeral. Don't even
We
get
gonna
twisted.
laugh at that.
Yeah.
Say how you feel about tonight's episode.
Yeah.
You ready to open
I'm
up?
excited. Yeah.
You excited?
I'm ready, you know?
You ready to open up?
I'm ready. I
Get it
feel like
on?
I'm already kind of open already as it is, but we finna, whew.
Okay, so that's what I want to do first. I want to talk about what is mental health.
You ain't gonna
So
talk
when we
about
talk about mental health, what's up? Oh, he chilling. What does it mean to you? That's what I want to ask y'all personally. When you hear mental health, Bella, when you hear the word mental health, what does it mean to you when you hear people say like mental health? Like, is this a new term for you, or was it like growing up, did you hear people talking about this?
I definitely believe that the term mental health is not a new term. You just asked me like a couple questions. I don't think it's a new term. I did hear it growing up in my household from my mother. But I do feel like it has been popularized now. It's very saturated. The market is very saturated. There's so many apps and just different outlets and avenues, which is a good thing. Honestly, I don't feel like it's a bad thing that it's popularized at this point. I feel like it's a good thing that people are wanting to get help, honestly, because I feel like it's necessary. I feel like too many people don't get help, and that's why the suicide rate was so high, because people didn't focus on their mental health. And I feel like that's, if anything, that's most important. So.
Well, that's good. I like that you personalize that like that. So that's what I want to get to you. I want to ask y'all personally, like when y'all hear about it, because usually when we was growing up, where I'm from, you heard somebody talk about that, you thought somebody was automatically crazy. That was it.
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
that
like, talk about
nigga
that
crazy.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? He got what? You got flamed. You got roasted if you had depression.
Yeah.
I don't know if that made it better for us or not.
I wasn't allowed to have
I
depression growing up.
I think I think a lot of people can attest to feeling like you know, they were crazy if they expressed any kind of mental health concern.
Yeah.
But I really feel like nowadays the word crazy, we kind of wore it out. It's worn out. We don't. It's like a dismissive.
It's almost
word.
becoming an
Like,
excuse.
It's a dismissive word. So if you tell me that you have these things, I need a mental health day. I really couldn't talk at the moment. And that girl crazy. That means like it's like whatever kind of thing. We're not really getting into the weeds of what happened with this person or really understanding what they're trying to tell us. We just kind of like dismissively say, oh, they crazy because, you know, they take medication and what have you. So that's definitely like something that we have done as a people. I can speak about my circle, not necessarily you all, but
that's understandable.
And stuff like that.
Very relatable.
But and I agree with Bella. What she said is kind of like, it's become, I don't want to say a fad because some people really do have truth to it, you know, and it really does. But it's kind of like what I was telling you guys earlier, like, okay, I got pain in my knee, and I go on to Google, and I go on to Google pain in right knee, right?
And then now we are lucky to be the most enlightened generation of humane time. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand more that something's wrong in my head. Like, yeah, I'm not a doctor and I can't tell you exactly, but I can tell you exactly how I feel. And I feel like once I started realizing, like, I'm the first one to go to therapy in my immediate family. And once I started doing it, my little cousin started doing it. And you know, and it started like changing like a cycle. And it's like, damn, nigga, like we really, me and him was talking, we were like, we really grew up fucked up. Excuse me. Because like we don't know. And having this shit like, me and my girl, I mean, I know I'm taking a little while, but
that's okay.
Me and my grandma really had it hashed out when I was younger. That's what made me join the Marine Corps. I had to get up out of there. And then like now that I'm grown and I understand mental health things, at the time my grandma going through menopause, she was going through a divorce, and then she got a smart ass 17-year-old in her house giving her a hard time. Yeah. And now that I'm grown, I'm like, I could imagine how all that could be doing something. Because I get pissed at my dog if she side me and I'm having a bad day, let alone a fucking teenager. Right. But it's like, imagine if my grandma would have had like the knowing to like, I know I'm a little off. You know what I'm saying? He not doing nothing no other 17-year-old doing. Let me go get some help because, you know, I'm going through X, Y, Z. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't realize, like, your parents ain't bad parents. They just fucked up and don't know no better, in a sense.
Big facts. Damn. We gonna dig. Sarah, where you from?
San Diego.
You from San Diego?
San Diego, yeah.
That be from Ethiopia.
So how do you?
I am.
So when you hear the term mental health, like growing up, not now, but like when you was growing up compared to now, like how Like, what did you think of it when you heard it growing up?
So growing up, it was definitely frowned upon. Like, you could not say, I got anxiety or I'm depressed. Yeah. Like, no, you're a weirdo. You're an outcast now.
Oh, no.
You know, and when I was told I had anxiety at a young age of like 15, I was so scared to tell people. Like, I even told my mom, she's like, what drugs are you using? You smoking weed? She went to Vaughn's, got a pee test to like urinate on the cup to see if I was smoking weed. And I'm like, no, Mom. I'm tripping because my life has been so much at 15. You know what I mean? And I kind of felt that way, but I also felt crazy. Because what we know about mental health now is not the same as we did 12 years ago. You know what I mean? This shit was crazy. To call somebody and tell them, like, you got anxiety, like, you're bugging, I don't want to hang out with you. It's contagious. It's a disease. You know what I mean? It's like catching an STD, like, bro, I don't want that. I need a pill, wash it away. You know what I mean?
Much,
so... Yeah, growing up, it was bad. It was definitely bad.
and you understand it a lot more now, clearly.
Of course, definitely. I always feel like younger, though, I definitely sympathize with other people that were going through things. Naturally, I kind of feel like I was just that person because of my mom. She was a caring person, but she didn't understand the mental part. You know, I'm first generation American. My family came from Ethiopia. You know, so I mean, like, for me to have mental health issues, like, you're crazy. The devil got you. You know what I mean? Like, don't kill me, daughter. You know, devil. You know, and I was like, nah, bro.
And it's probably tough because, like, they trying to, like, parents used to be like, I told my grandma I was depressed. She said, what you depressed for? I pay all your bills. And they don't understand. It's like, other shit can make you fucking depressed. So I can imagine, like, your people growing up in Ethiopia back in the day, you know what I'm saying?
Everything's soft.
And they like, oh, nigga, we don't work hard, got your ass in America. This should be
nice. Why are you anxious? I'm doing everything for you. I had a struggle to bring you here. I'm like,
we ain't living good.
And little do mom know she projecting that same energy on me as a kid. Right. Parents don't realize that.
But one thing I'll say is this, like, as far as like you were saying, we come off as soft to the generation above us, just like our kids come off as soft to us. So a lot of times when we not understanding why they are depressed, I can pay for everything. I spoil this kid. Why is he sad? You know what I'm saying?
He ain't seen his daddy in 2 months.
He can be sad about something that has nothing to do with materialistic things. You know what I'm saying? So I want to understand this because, like Tori was saying earlier, people just giving themselves, they diagnosing themselves. Just so y'all know, you can't do that. You can't just say I suffer from depression. Ain't nobody clinically diagnose you. You just, you know what I'm saying, you probably just having a bad day. But I'm gonna tell you this. Can we put up the definition of depression so we understand the actual definition of depression? So when you see it, you understand what it is. So Tori, you want to read that for me?
As soon as it comes up, I'll go ahead and read it for you. I got my glasses on. I can do that.
You got that. And you closer.
Okay. Depression. No, I'm going to read Depression. An act of depressing or a state of being depressed, such as a state of feeling sad, low spirits, and melancholy. Specifically, a mood disorder that is marked by varying degrees of sadness, despair, and loneliness. And that is typically accompanied by inactivity, guilt, loss of concentration, social withdrawal, sleep disturbances, and sometimes suicidal tendencies.
Right.
Depression.
So there's actually that definition is a definition by the Webster, right?
It feels like a lot.
But I want y'all to understand something. Depression can not only just be inactivity. Okay? Sometimes you got to watch for signs. So some of the signs I had to look this up to make sure I wasn't crazy. But some of the signs are just excessiveness. So if you just excessively lonely, you could be partying too much excessively. That's depression too. You know what I'm saying? Some people deal with it in different ways, almost like grief or anything else. You know what I'm saying? So like, just because somebody's losing a lot of weight, if you're losing excessive weight, you might be depressed. If you're gaining excessive weight, you might be depressed eating. You know what I'm saying? So you're saying
just the excessive
the excessiveness.
Anything.
Life is about balance. Yeah.
Regardless of what it is, excessive anything. Okay.
Mental health, really, to have a strong mental health in your life, basically just saying that you have a balance in your life. You know what I'm saying? There's moderation to things. Anything that you do excessively is too much. You know what I'm saying?
Man, mentally healthy. It's weird after being depressed for so many years.
Yeah.
Like, at this point in my life now, I'm at the most mentally healthy that I have ever been. And then, like, sometimes, man, I just find myself just bopping through life. I'm like, it's weird. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never just bop through life.
No,
really. You know what I'm saying?
I think, what was it, yesterday? I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday I had a great day. I woke up feeling good.
Yeah.
It was raining. that threw me off because I don't recall ever feeling good on a radio.
They're my best days. I don't know why. I love them.
I was like, wow, I feel really good. I'm not sure why, but I was feeling really good. But, you know, we'll talk about, you know, why that came about, maybe the depression or whatever. But, yeah, I felt really good. And like you said, I agree. Like, when you do feel really good and you have those really high highs, it's like, it's kind of off.
That's depression, though. There's
That's
waves
depression.
of depression.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to talk to my therapist about that. I was like, look, Shadi, I know I ain't bipolar, but one day I'm happy and the next day I'm like, fuck my life. I don't want to leave my bed. And she's like, you're depressed. You know, your body's trying to figure out that balance. It's almost a chemical imbalance in your body.
Exactly
you know?
what it is.
Yeah.
Mine's helped me with Marissa helped me with my depression a lot because she made me ask questions that I didn't think to ask. So I'd be like mad as fuck. And I go down like a dumper. Nobody fucked with me. My mama didn't fuck with me. I go down a list of shit.
It be like
and she be like, well, do you fuck with you? I'm like, well, damn.
Right.
Because if I don't fuck me, how I expect other niggas to
That
fuck
part,
with me?
that
you feel
part,
me?
yep.
And then you start to focus on me fucking with me.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel me? And once I got to the point where I fuck with me, really ain't give a fuck if nobody else fuck with me. And then I was like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of
And that's
fuck.
where everybody need to be.
It's hard to stay there, though. We all know that that's where we need to be.
Yeah, 'cause I'm missing out.
Everybody knows we need to really absorb ourselves in self, but it's so hard to stay there. We might be there 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, but then we're like, damn, man, I ain't get a phone call back. Like, that kind of like, whoop, that's a nick, you know what I'm saying? And then like, oh, damn, my phone ain't ring all day. I'm gonna say something, it might be triggering to some people, but like, have y'all ever literally went a whole day without talking to somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not intentionally.
No.
No.
So it's like, damn, man, nobody actually called
No,
me.
for me, it happens
and
a lot.
no one gave a fuck to say, hey, Tori, what the fuck going on over here?
But that leads me
it's
to my
very
next
sad,
question.
though.
This leads me to my next question because this is what I get into. Joey just gave an example of having support and the difference that it made in his life.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You just gave an example of not having support. People don't understand how serious that is. So the question I want to ask everybody now is, what do you do when the support doesn't help? When the support isn't there, or when you're getting support and it still doesn't help? What do y'all do in that situation? Bella, what do you do when the support is not there? And what do you do when you're getting support and it still doesn't work?
I'm somebody that's very much a do-it-yourselfer. So because of that, if I don't feel supported, I mean, it might make me feel away, but honestly, it might have me in my head for a minute, like, dang, like nobody is really like trying to help me or whatever. But ultimately, honestly, I'm really self-driven. I don't know. I've been the only child my whole life, and it's only been, you know, I got brothers, but they're my father's sons. Not saying they're not my brothers, but you know, I wasn't raised with them. So my mother raised me. So I've always been somebody that had to kind of like push myself for real. So it might put me in my feelings a little bit because I'm an emotional person. I can definitely say that. I might be in my bag a little bit, like, nah, fuck y'all, don't fuck with me, you know. But I definitely am a self-starter, I think. So I just have to get in the mirror and be like, okay, girl.
You the shit.
On your,
Right,
you be
you
on
got
your
to.
Issa Rae? On your insecure?
I'm definitely a Issa, okay?
yeah.
I'm be like, okay, girl.
Rapping in the mirror.
You. No, not you.
Rapping in the
You.
mirror,
Like,
right.
that's what
Mirror
that's,
talk.
that's, oh,
So-
yeah.
so let me-
That's me all day.
So let me ask you a question. When it comes down to like helping yourself, right? Does it ever come a point to where you're trying to help yourself and do for yourself and it doesn't work?
Absolutely.
So what do you do when it doesn't work? When you can't do it yourself? When you can't get yourself out of that hole?
I do seek outside help, but obviously if it's not coming, because usually when people say, oh, nobody's there for me or nobody cares, that's usually not really the case. Usually when somebody says that, it's not the people that you want to
There
be
you go.
there.
Yeah.
Or it's not the people, it's not the person that you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be uplifting you or
That ain't
helping
it.
you or whatever. That's usually what it is. It's
Yeah.
never, you're completely alone. That's usually almost never the case.
I agree.
And so when it comes to those points where I'm feeling like I'm not able to uplift myself, I do reach out to people that I do know that have been there, you know, or maybe I don't talk to as much, or they might have tried to reach out, but I don't really want to talk to you. But I know I do. Sometimes you do have to lean on it. You have those relationships where, you know, you might not talk all the time, but sometimes I have to reach out and I have to lean on you for in this time right now. You know, I need a little push, or I need a little bit of encouragement. You be knowing those people that you can pick up the phone. You might not always want to talk to them, but you know those people you can pick up the phone and they'll be like, listen, you got this. And you know you got this. You know what I'm saying? Like those people that's gonna give you that extra kick in the butt, and you're gonna be like, you right.
You're right.
I do got this. You know what I'm saying? And that'll keep, that usually keeps me going. So that's me.
Yeah.
You made a good point, man.
I like that.
You made a real good point, because sometimes we looking at things all the time like I'm self this, and I'm self that, and I'm self this, and sometimes yourself ain't enough. You know what I mean? You need help, and people need people.
We definitely do.
Love
each other.
we need bread. Food, we need food, water, shelter, and love
And
to
breathe.
survive as human beings.
But you know, sometimes that shit gets hard. You know, when you're really a person that is really kind of going through it and you don't know it, and then you become that. We've talked about it, like friendships that become a burden. Like sometimes I often feel like I don't want to call my friend and load my shit,
Right.
because personally I feel like everybody got a little bit of shit going on, whether they want to admit it or not. They got a little bit of something, so I don't want to be that one friend dumping. So I'd rather not call, even though I feel like I can't come from this myself. And so I sometimes, like, I'll distance myself from friends, not to say I don't want to be around them, but I don't want to become that friend that's a burden. Like every time I call, I'll be like, hey Jessica, hey, like I don't want her to be, because I have that with my family sometimes when they call me and they, you know, they don't call me Tori, they call me my real name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I'm startled and taken aback, like, because it's got to be something real shit going on, and I don't want to be that for my friends, so I will dial myself back. And sometimes those days where I don't talk to people, it might be self-inflicted. Sometimes.
But that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's on you. You don't be heavy on people, and then you end up making it worse for yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you the same question. What do you do when the support ain't there, and what do you do when the support is there and it's just not enough?
So for me, like even now in the past like year and a half, when the support was there, I didn't see that support because I didn't know what I needed. So you think you're there for me the best way you can, but that's not the best way. That I'm not perceiving it that way, because that's not what I needed, and I didn't know what the hell Sarah needed. And a lot of people I hurt around me because of that, because I didn't know how to express what I needed, because again, I didn't know. And now I do, and I, luckily for me, and I'm blessed to say that I have a village of people that understand me, and I know how to communicate what I need now. Like, and I have that finally now. But it's hard to be there for somebody you don't know how to help them. It's like speaking another language. Like I'm speaking Spanish, you speaking English. Like we're not, it's not making sense, you know? So that shit is hard. It is hard.
Very.
And then I kind of got upset too, you know, like y'all not understanding me. Oh my God! And it's like you got to take a step back and be like, Sarah, no, you're not even allowing them to understand you. You're not allowing them to like feel you, you know, because shit was crazy. It was crazy.
What did you need? Like, I'm curious to know. Like, I guess we all trying to figure out with ourselves. Like, of course, I want my friends to be there to support me. I've had a therapist before. And they were like, so. I didn't like this particular therapist because of the way she talked to me, as condescending, like as if I should have known already that you can call your friends. Of course I know I can call my friends, but I don't want to burden them because they have their own problems. But I want to know, like, what did you end up determining, like, that you needed to, you know, just for people out there that may have this same kind of barrier where they don't know what to ask for from their friends. Like,
so for me, and again, we all heal and go through trauma differently here. We all experience depression very differently. My experience is different from your guys's. But for me, I needed space. So when the experience that I had when I got shot, within 2 months I immediately was just focusing on radio, and I was not focusing on my trauma. I was just burying it down. I just digged a hole in my brain and I patched it. Girl, you didn't get shot. Your boyfriend didn't die. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Worry about radio. Worry about radio. I lost me. But I was trying to create a new me in the whole movement of it all. And that's when I realized, like, girl, you're not healing. You're suppressing this shit. You're drinking every day. You don't want to feel it, you know? And so I had to leave and go to South Carolina for like 3 weeks to a good friend of my mom's house and just stop.
Reset.
Put the phone down and just be in nature. It kind of messed me up because I was like, damn, we were slaves out here. Because that part I didn't know. You don't see it in California, damn it. I was like,
Right.
I seen the cotton fields. I was like, well, shit, I don't know if this is healing me.
Really
or fuck, it's messing me up. I don't know. I'm reliving new trauma. Yeah, this is some new. I'm seeing Django. I was like, damn. But no, I had to go there and just breathe.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out who the hell is Sarah again.
Yeah.
Because Sarah was this active, happy person before getting shot. And now I'm like, how do I get back to her? That's me. I'm funny. How do I get back to it? And it's just, I just kept suppressing it, drinking, partying, trying to isolate myself. And then finally I was like, girl, go isolate and go figure this shit out. Go hit rock bottom. Because when you hit rock bottom, you have to dig yourself out.
Yeah, you ain't got no
It's only
choice.
you. It's you and God. That's it. It was my spiritual journey, and that's what I did.
That's what's up. That's deep as
Some
shit.
people
Still going through it.
I feel
Honestly,
like, go ahead. No, you got it.
I feel like sometimes finding your way back or identifying what you need when you are in that space is hard sometimes because it's like you said, you be in that space and you be mad at your friends because sometimes, like you said, they don't know what to give you and you mad at them because you like, why you not giving me what I need? You know what I'm saying?
And they're there just to help you. They want to help you, but they don't really know how.
Or some, I didn't know what I need. I know when my mother passed, I went through a really bad depression. And, a lot of my friends, because I am usually the person that's always getting the phone calls and I'm always the one that's uplifting people and I'm usually uplifting myself. So they're not used to calling. I'm not used to trying to figure out what you need. I'm not used because you're the strong one.
Yeah.
So now, how do I help you? So maybe she just needs space. So it felt like, oh, so now y'all not talking to me at all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, nobody cares about what I'm going through. Because
they don't know what to do.
But it's like after I was able to come out of it, and like you said, you take that time to say, okay, I need to figure out me. I need to get back to me. I need to figure out what I need. And after I was able to get out of that hole that I was in, I was able to kind of see and talk to them as well. You know what I'm saying? And they were just
that's what really
I did it because you be so blinded. You're just like in your head for real. And it's a good thing that you said. Like you really just have to number one, give people around you grace because that's a tough spot to be in. Trying to help somebody that has went through something traumatic because especially if you've never been through it, that's tough. But give people around you grace, but also just try to figure out what you need.
Facts.
Figuring out what you need.
Facts. We got to understand that everybody's not a nurturer. Everybody's that's not as understanding as you may be and things of that nature. But we got to be patient with our friends and our family members. You know what I'm saying? Joey, I wanted to ask you the same question, man. I know that you spoke on having support. What happens if her support don't work one day?
Well, to be honest, like most of my trauma comes from, I was homeless half of my junior year and senior year of high school. And because like me and my grandma fell out based on the things that she was going through. So like I people like wonder why like my gift of gab is so good is because like when you wearing the same clothes to school every day, and it's making my heart race now, but like you wearing the same shit to school every day and niggas talking about you. And you gotta be able to talk about them, do what you gotta do back. But like I started out my life feeling unsupported. Nobody thought I was gonna graduate high school. Only like 2 people came to my high school graduation. Nobody came to see me graduate boot camp. Nobody came to see none of these things because they didn't expect me to be anything based on not nothing that I did, but just because who my mama was. So like, they used to do those things to me. So my depression always come with the sense of loneliness because for a while I had to do everything. It's really lonely to be 16 years old inside a park, you know what I'm saying? And like, it was tough, man, cause like niggas, they see the shit like, it was like, damn, bro. Niggas be like, damn, everybody know who you is, you fam and everything, but like, when you in there by yourself, like, I got like a couple friends and shit. They're like, they ain't like my brothers or nothing like that, but they my brothers for real because my nigga used to let me like, if it's like raining some shit, he would like sleep in his house, I sleep in his closet and shit. One of my friends would keep my clothes in his car. And like, I fought them niggas because like, y'all niggas ain't had to do that shit. And like, my problem is now, I still feel like I'm by myself. And like my fiance had to remind me that, like, boy, you ain't by yourself. Like, you got so many people fucking with you. And it's like, people like, why you do so much shit? Why you do? I do it so niggas can see me. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make y'all niggas see me in the most positive manner. And it's like, to this day, dog, a nigga, like today, what I posted, like, you don't know how much you helped me today about what you sent me. Because I, like, you know, I posted, like, if y'all niggas don't buy the ticket, I'm not doing comedy no more. And you were like, nah, nigga, we ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? That shit helped because, like, yeah, I might be older now, you know, it might be a little bit more wise, but like that shit still hit me because it's like, it's weird now because now that I'm doing so well, my family and shit, like, oh, I'm so proud. Oh, I'm so happy, nigga. I always been there. And I'm like, no, you haven't, nigga. Like, I like when I tell people, nigga, I was homeless, bro. I like, it's like this shit was hard, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like the only thing that saved my life was the Marine Corps, bro. That's all I had. And that's what I always focus on. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna get myself up out of here, bro, and just dip out, nigga. And I didn't realize how much that shit started like affect like who I was as a person. Like I get up and leave in a minute, and like it's hard because I don't want to be like that with my fiance. And like every little time there's a little trouble, I'll be like, oh, I'm dip. You feel me? And I'll be like, it's tough with her because it's like when she's real supportive. And I had a hard time accepting it. Cause I'm like, damn, G, like, she can't fuck with me like that. How many bitches you done been with, saying they fuck with you, next thing you know they don't fuck with you. And based on the shit I went through with my ex nigga, that shit definitely took me for a worse because like when I'm going through the shit, I felt that same little 16-year-old boy again. Because nobody, like, to me, was fucking with me based off something else. And then like to have her to be like, nah, I fuck with you. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got you. And it's like, then I start like, I'm only crying because I'm happy where I'm at now.
Right.
And I'm like, and when I look back at it, like sometimes, man, somebody asks me like, what would you say to your 15-year-old self? And I'm like, what I would say to my 15-year-old self, like, it's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right. Everything that you wanted and asked for, you got it. And you know, I don't care about crying. You know, I'm a cancer. So, you know,
you ain't gotta explain why you crying, brother.
but it's like,
Yeah, we on.
like when a nigga sit back and think like even like y'all, man, I wish I had y'all when I was younger, bro. And it's like when I look back and I'm like, damn, bro, you survived that shit, bro, and you did what you had to do. And that's why with my friends, like I like to tell y'all, man, like, hey, bro, I don't give a fuck what it is. I'm here. You feel me? Because y'all niggas done helped me through some shit. You feel me? Even in recent time. Like, all that shit I was going through last summer talking to y'all helped me, my nigga. And, man, if you feel like, if your particular flight is loneliness in a sense, just open your eyes. Because sometimes, like, life will have you moving very narrow-minded, narrow-eyed, tunnel vision. And as soon as you open your eyes, you start to see how many people actually like fuck with you. And that's why like I've been like working on, like my New Year's resolution is to be a better friend, as in like realizing that I'm not alone, and also realizing like that in my loneliness I gotta interact. Cause now you done ask for the friends, the friends that's like family, and they here, and where you at? You know what I'm saying? That's why I like to randomly hit y'all up and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's me trying to like work through the shit. I ain't mean to make niggas cry, but
we on.
I knew it was coming today. I knew it.
But that shit, man, it's just like y'all said a heavy topic. That's why I said I gotta smoke first. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm like, nigga, y'all talk about some real shit. Like when I say I've been through some shit, bro, that's why like me seeing myself in a movie was so fucking important to me, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was so fucking important because I didn't do the movie for me, nigga. I do it to prove these niggas that didn't think I could do it. I remember when I was getting ready to get out of the Marine Corps, bro. I didn't even get out of the Marine Corps, no fault of my own. But like I remember I was married at the time, and I told her like, hey, yo, they for to discharge me, and you could hear disappointment in the motherfucker's tone. And then it was downhill from there. And then like everybody just like, oh, what you gonna do now? And I'm like, well, you know, I'm gonna finish film school and I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. And niggas didn't think, well, nigga, you ain't gonna never be in a movie. Essentially, nobody, you know what I'm saying? What niggas was saying. I mean, my family used to hate on me so much. When I got in the Marine Corps, they didn't like that I joined the Marine Corps, and then they thought I was like all that. They're thinking I'm all that now because I'm not helping niggas pay their bills. Like one, I'm a PFC, can't help nobody pay no fucking bills. And it's like niggas used to tell like my family members, like high ranking family members, nigga like your granddaddy, my granddaddy and shit used to tell people like, oh, he ain't in no military, and my niggas like, I just saw this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just saw the nigga, unless this nigga stole a cat card, because we went on base with the nigga. So I used to take my homies on base, play a little basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, you play in the streets in Florida. Yeah. You know how to get shot up at a basketball court. So,
no matter take
yeah, you know it ain't gonna happen on base. So, like, nigga, you been taking nigga on base. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And them niggas used to tell people, like, oh, yeah, why your daddy going around tell people you ain't in the military for? I don't know. And so that made me feel more and more isolated. So when I did the movie, nigga, it was just more so like,
we out here.
You feel me? And it's just weird how the hard part I have forgiving is my family is because like not my dad's side. My dad's side, I ain't meet my dad till I was like 25. So like I don't really blame my dad's side for shit because they didn't know me until roughly like 7 years ago. Yeah. But my mom's side, it's like it's hard to accept shit from them. Me and my grandma, only person I really fuck with for is my grandma. Because me and my grandma had a heart to heart some years ago about how she treated me. She never admitted like, you know, that she had traumas and nothing like that. But she admitted the things she did to me and like had me go through was wrong. Yeah. And that helped me tremendously. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely think that's important. Like having revisiting those relationships and those conversations, and I think that helps with trauma. Yes. Like with past trauma, if you're able to currently go back and actually revisit those relationships that caused trauma in your life. You know what I'm saying? It's not always viable. It's not always doable. It's great that you were able to talk to your grandmother because she caused some trauma in your life. But, you know, it's not always
you might pull it
feasible.
Off.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For you to be able to do that. But I think it's great if you can, you know, once you have healed a little bit, if you can take a step back. You know what I'm saying?
I'm curious.
Do you feel like with your situation, you've been able to revisit and like I guess come to terms with some stuff that
with stuff to what happened or with the people that around me,
right? Like with what happened,
yeah,
like, because I'm sure that was a big huge chunk of your life and it took, you know, it was like a domino effect after that.
Definitely,
you know what I'm
was
saying? Were you able to go back to that moment, to the situation that happened, revisit it and kind of like put yourself in that situation and kind of heal from that, actually from everything that happened in that moment?
I feel like I have. Sorry, y'all got me crying and shit.
No, we good. We on.
I feel like I have now, but in the beginning, like I said, I suppressed it. I numbed it. I didn't want to feel it. I refused to believe that I was shot. No, not me. Like I physically can see it. I physically feel it. I mentally am going through the PTSD, everything, but I didn't want to feel that. But now in 2022, towards like the middle part, it hit me like, yo, you was shot. Yo, this happened to you. You know that, right? Like, your boyfriend is gone. He saved your life. He's gone. Like, this is Sarah. He's not coming back. And I suppressed it for like almost a year and a half. I didn't want to feel it. I was like, nah, I could just work. Now I'm going to rebuild Sarah. Now I'm going to do this. And everybody around me is like, bro, we're just trying to help you. We want you to be great because we believe in you. And I'm just like, yeah, cool. But I don't believe in me. You know, I don't believe in the fuck I'm doing. I didn't. And I can say that now because Sarah, like a year and a half ago, y'all, no cap, this man, Terry and Felicia, they would pick me up every day at 9 o'clock in the morning, literally 2 months after I was shot. And they would pick me up, take me to the building, and just help me feel normal again. Yeah. And at the time, I appreciated it, but now looking back, I really do because I probably would have killed myself then. I couldn't fathom. You shot me 6 times, my boyfriend died, and I'm supposed to go back into the world? Yeah. You know, they picked me up every fucking day to pick up my backpacks, help me take my medicine. I couldn't open bottles of medicine. You know, they would help me. And I never like thought about it until I was started healing more. And I realized like, damn, if they wasn't there, I wouldn't be here. To be honest, I wouldn't. I needed something to distract me. I needed to get the fuck up out my head. I wasn't okay. You know, and now I'm able to go back and like look and accept like he's not coming back. This is my life. These are the cards I'm played. These are the cards life gave me. I have to play them. This is it. So I'm gonna grow from them now. You know, but it took so much healing and isolating myself and being Sarah and then not Sarah and then being Sarah and then not Sarah. You know, it has been a roller coaster of emotions and. It's just self-harm. You know, like you said, depression comes in many forms. I was drinking, became an alcoholic, you know, up and didn't know it. Everyone's like, can you stop drinking? I'm like, well, can y'all stop smoking? Because y'all smoke every day. I drink every day. What the fuck is the problem, you know? And it was like, no, it's not healthy for you, you know? Drinking and driving, eating, gaining weight, just confused, losing weight because I'm just drinking now. I'll go broke to buy a bottle before I buy food.
That's crazy.
That was me.
I'm glad you
at 25 years old, that was me. Like, to be honest, you know? And I share that because a lot of people go through that, and we need to, it happens. It's fucking normal, you know? I'm not shooting up heroin and, you know, I'm doing crazy ass shit. I'm going through it. And I'm not popping pills and anxiety pills. I'm physically going through this shit.
Yeah. And that's why
that shit's hard.
I'm glad Terry them was there for you at that supporting cast. Not only do they deliver real entertainment, they also apparently deliver real entertainment and medicine.
So I'll tell you this. Hey, shout out to everybody.
That was perfect. Like, that was a good conversation.
Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. Shout out to everybody who's listening in the comments right now. If y'all in the comments, if y'all in the comments right now, y'all listening, man. If y'all tuning in, make sure that y'all can vent with us too. Tonight is one of those nights, man. Shout out to Dewan Gross. Dewan Gross said, "Can you go for me real quick, boss?" To the bottom. Dewan Gross said, "Depression is very real, and everybody deals with it differently. We all need it. We all need one another. We all need one another at some point or another." So that's kind of the point we're getting at tonight. With this question particularly was the support question, and sometimes you got support. So for myself, I always tell y'all how much I love my family, how much my family was there for me and everything like that. But what happens when that happens and you have that much support around you, people, like you said, assume that you're okay all the time. You know what I'm saying? So like even my mother and my father, who are best friends in real life, they didn't even talk to each other about this. And I asked them the question separately, like, why y'all don't ever check on me? You know what I'm saying? And they was like, boy, you okay? Both of them said it individually. They was like, because we know you're okay. But what they didn't know was I was one of those people who was masking it all the time. And I opened up to this group right here one time and told y'all about my thoughts and how deep they got at one point that I didn't want to be here no more. And I was very clear about that, and I was very serious about that. But I personally can't do anything to myself for unselfish reasons. I don't want to leave the people that love me. And like you were saying, right now, you don't have to deal with none of that shit no more. The nigga that let you sleep in the closet, you got a whole bunch of niggas that'll let you sleep in the closet right now.
If y'all niggas let make me sleep in our closet, I'm not
but you get what I'm saying.
I'm about to say, damn, got a couch.
What I'm saying is,
this is your house.
but that mentality that they had, you have a lot of people around you right now with that mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you coming to
it's a
see
lot of
the car,
support.
3 bedrooms, but you in the closet.
Yeah.
At least you get a blanket or something.
But I'm in the closet.
Give him a blanket at least.
Sometimes you gotta keep people home.
He wearing the clothes, trying to stay warm.
I remember I was getting ready. By then I had like failed so many classes that I wasn't on track for graduation, so I had to take like these online classes at the same time. And I remember, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna cry about it, but this shit kind of like touched my heart.
Man, talk about it.
Like I wasn't supposed to graduate when I graduated. I was gonna be held back. But if I didn't finish these classes, I had to make up like 9 extra classes on top of my senior classes. And my niggas, like, I remember like it was the last couple days really before seniors not allowed to do anything else. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And them niggas stayed up all night with me and did these classes. Like niggas was doing shifts. And I remember my nigga Gomez, we stayed at his house and he the only one with like a computer with internet. Yeah. And we doing it. I was asleep at the time, and I heard a nigga say, "Finally!" And I wake up, and I'm like, "What happened?" He said, "You gonna graduate, nigga?" Yeah. And man, you telling me that shit? I didn't have a cap and gown, bro. So like, fuck, I ain't got no cap and gown. I get to school the next. I said I wasn't gonna cry, but I get to school the next day, and my RTC instructor shot the Master Gunner Sergeant William E. Robinson. That nigga like a daddy to me, bro. Yeah. And I remember I told him, he like, what you so happy for? When I walk into school, I said, I'm gonna graduate. He said, do you got your cap and gown? I said, I wasn't even gonna go to my graduation. Facts. He said, I'm gonna buy you cap and gown. I'm gonna pay all your senior dues, and you gonna go to graduation. And one of the things he said to me as I was getting ready to walk in to graduate, he was like, don't let this be the highlight of your life. Don't let your whole life you talk about ROTC and you talk about graduating high school. He like do other shit.
Yeah.
Like he said, I want this shit to be a passing memory in your life. And he used to say shit like, so he like, some motherfuckers just gotta go through shit, bro, and you one of them niggas. And like, depending on like how you gonna handle it is how it's gonna affect you. And that's how I try to like live my life. But you know, sometimes, man, I wrote about my masculine song, my RTC instructor, because I think he saw the shit that I was going through. Like just recently he found out I was homeless. He like, oh, you were that very well.
It was that bad, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cause he like, he would have made me stay with him, but I like, oh, I didn't at the time. I'm like, I'm not staying with my teacher.
That pride, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You still have pride.
Yeah, you know, I'm not staying with my teacher.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? And it was like, damn, it was cool to have him, bro. Cause realistically, I know I would have been trapping.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that instructor in my life, cause he didn't play that shit. He like, man, you know, do this and go to school. I had my niggas. You know what I'm saying? They helped me through my shit too. You feel me?
Big facts.
I think sometimes we don't realize who we have in our lives. Like, you know, those bystander roles, you know what I'm saying? Those comments that they give us, you know, a little bit of encouragement here and there. I think a lot of times for me, I just feel like I'm supposed to bear it all. Like I'm supposed to. You know, we can ramble off all the demographics. I'm a black woman. I'm a Leo, you know, because that's the thing. Like Leos need to be able to bear it all and do all these great things or whatever y'all think of us and shit. And I feel like I need to bear it all, so I do that. But then there's people that come around that they don't know what they're doing. Like I think that I'm very influential in some ways, especially at my job. And then some days I'm down. Like most days I'm down because I don't want to do this shit no more. But you know, most days I'm down, and there's people that I've influenced years back, week back, day back, whatever the case may be, and then they come and talk about some shit that I done told them to do. Like, bitch, goddamn it.
You never know how you affect somebody.
So I tell them, you know, hey, you know, they want to tell me their goals, and I'm like, hey, do this, this, and this. And then now I'm having a bad day, and here they come, hey, Tori, what's up? I got this, this, and this. Bitch, I'm having a bad day.
Today ain't the day, right?
Today ain't the day to tell me what you didn't achieve.
So we talking about depression, and I want to get these terms out the way.
Yeah.
So depression is not just depression. There's clinical depression, and that's when you have been actually characterized by a physician to have clinical depression. Then there is something called persistent depressive disorder, and that is basically you know how you talking about extremes of highs and lows. That's the medium. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like you're depressed the most. There we go. Right now, it's mild, but it's for long-term depression. That's people that's just always Debbie Downers. They always got a problem with something that's going on. Ain't nothing good enough. You know what I'm saying? It's too hot in here. It's too cold in here. They always complaining about shit. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of people just can't find happiness in anything. That's that long-term persistent shit. And then there's the big one. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is the most extreme of all extreme. That's those people that's partying and twerking one minute, the next minute they crying in the corner. You like, what the fuck just happened? And it could have been a small thing to trigger them. So sometimes there's triggers like people survive natural disasters or shootings or attacks or they grew up getting molested and things of that nature. And some
don't point at me when you say
no, I just did my hand like this. I ain't mean to go that way, but no, honestly, I had a partner. It's funny you said that because I had a friend that he was always like snapping on people, and we was like, bro, what's your problem? We drinking one night, and he goes to tell us that his uncle used to make him do things. You know what I'm saying? And we looking at him tell us this shit, and we just like, damn, you did never guessed it, because homie was hard. Like he was like, I'll beat cuz ass right now. You know what I'm saying? And he was always ready to go, but that's why he was like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's why he was like that.
Be the one.
And
we do
for real, like you be surprised. So
it's
like
triggered by trauma.
It's triggered by
trauma.
trauma.
A lot of boxers been touched.
That's deep. Because they got to get that shit out.
To be honest, though, a lot of us been touched. We just don't talk about it. Like that little cousin like to hang out with us a little longer than the other cousins.
Playing house.
A lot of us been touched.
I got touched by this girl one time. And
it's sick.
When I was I'm dead ass. Like I liked it, but I mean, it was wrong. Because she was like, she had been like 13. I was like 7.
What the fuck?
Yeah. She was like, let me touch it. I like, shit, all right.
Yeah.
And I like, let me touch that. And she was like, all right.
Yeah.
I like. She had little titties. They were little. I fucked with it.
But it's you know how crazy it is though, because you were the younger. Imagine it flipped.
Yeah.
I can't
Imagine if it was a
If you
girl
was the
cousin.
dude, yeah.
You know how much worse that would be. Let me tell you something.
Yep.
There's no difference.
It ain't.
There's not.
Mentally, when it come down to that, emotionally, there's no difference. That shit can affect you the same way. So
It did. Now I'm a freak.
so I want to get into mental health and
You a
like
fool, man.
what are the cures, right?
Weed.
What are the cures? What do we do to kind of do this? I'm gonna say this before I go around the room. I feel like one cure is this. You need to understand that keeping cleanliness around you is a really sign of depression. If you got a clean house, a clean car, your hygiene is good. If you're doing all that, it's a good sign that you're probably in a good place. And if you're not in a good place mentally, start doing that shit and you'll find yourself
Too much clutter.
when you go home, right? Too much clutter. And when you got a clutter home, clutter mind, right?
Yeah, because
You go
this ain't
home-
right, nothing else gonna be right
Facts.
Get somebody else to do it.
yet.
Imagine when you ever been on vacation or went somewhere for a long period of time, and when you come home, when you clean the shit out your house before you left, when you come home to a clean house, it feels different.
Yeah.
When you come home and your bed made, it feels different.
The peace you get from
that
that.
shit is in your mind. You know what I'm saying? When you in the gym and your body look good and it ain't about appearance sometimes. Sometimes it's about your mental health when you taking care of your physical health. Sometimes that shit around you, when your car cluttered like that, you getting somebody car, you like, God damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know what they going through. You know what I mean? So watch out for that kind of shit. So I want to ask y'all, what are some of the cures that y'all have used outside of just like giving yourself pep talks and talking to other people, outside of talking to people? What are some of the methods you guys use to kind of get through your mental? Joey, you want to start?
Yeah, that's all right.
What kind of methods do you use?
Radio now.
Okay.
It's cool 'cause I could be wherever I'm feeling that day or that week. You know what I'm saying on there?
therapy, by the way.
It is
It
therapy.
is. It's a form
Some
of
days
it.
I'm lit as fuck. Like last week, them niggas was like, "Oh, you lit in this bitch." I was in a good mood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but it's like that.
That honey
Film,
pack.
film helps.
Yeah.
Doing this podcast helps. Photography help.
Activities.
Just like, yeah,
Being busy,
activities.
yeah.
Like sometimes me and my fiance will go like rent bicycles and ride it on the beach type shit.
Huh?
No,
Sorry.
and
Why you saying what the fuck?
Sorry, let it out.
and the shit therapeutic as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like we just be cruising. And me and her do a lot of shit like that where we just like unplug from shit and just like enjoy what we doing in the moment. You know what I'm saying? So everybody
definitely
should
feel
have
that.
a release. And
Sometimes
Yeah.
you need some air, man.
You definitely should have a release.
Sarah, what do you do?
So what I got into now recently, and I kind of like talk about it a lot on my Instagram too, is I take myself out on dates.
I seen that.
I heard you.
That's the dopest shit.
You took me to Blanco. I've been there 3 times since by myself.
That's deep.
Like literally,
Yeah.
it's the most funnest thing because you need to learn who the hell are you by yourself. That way, when you meet somebody, you know, like, this not finna work because you know yourself.
You know you, right.
Self, you know?
Facts.
Like, it shocks me when people judge other people, but they don't even know themselves. I'm like, girl, you crazy. You don't even know how to hang out by yourself. Are you sure? Because you the same person you judging. But you gotta know you. You gotta love you. That way nobody can fuck up you. Because if they can't fuck up you, it's a blessing to be in my presence. Now I know that. Not on no cocky shit, but I know my value
It's
as
okay,
Sarah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I respect me. So yeah, you're gonna be around me, you're gonna be right. If not, bye. Call it a day.
Big fact.
Because I know what I'm gonna be around. That's
y'all
it.
I'm just
California
gonna say
niggas
I
talk fast as
absolutely
fuck.
love
That's
Sarah. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you said we talk fast.
Absolutely.
You said what? Sorry.
I said I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely love you. Your personality is so
It's
intoxicating
infectious.
and infectious.
Thank you.
because,
Yeah.
Hey, now somebody
you
said I
know,
was
No
like
cap.
T-Pain.
Yeah.
Bragging
Hey,
against
he's
us.
from.
Somebody called you T-Pain. I wasn't gonna read it out
called
loud.
me?
I wasn't
Called
gonna
him
read it out loud.
T-Pain?
Yeah. The comments going in. No, but I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Okay.
I'll buy you a drink. In the
It's
red
the
cup.
grill.
Looking
Let's
ass.
see. What was the question again, Ball?
Okay, so the question is, what do you do as far as medicine? I ain't talking about clinical depression. I'm talking taking pills and Xanax and all that other crazy shit. I want to know what you do for your medicine. What do you do to get through your mental health?
I mean, I have waves, up and down waves. I used to live in Chicago. The weather was bad, so you really had to drive yourself up. Like here, you can literally open your blinds in the room. So that's something that I do in the morning. On the weekend, I wake up. First thing I'm going to do is open the blinds to bring the sun in, get some vitamin D. But in Chicago, I didn't really have that, so I had to, rely on more like people in Chicago or make my bed. So like you said, come home to something.
Yes.
If everything else, I say it all the time on my Instagram, toward the body. If everything else goes to shit, you know what I'm saying? I made my bed this morning. even if I didn't get to gym, even if I didn't do this, the bed is at least made. When I say made, you know, sometimes we don't got the strength to make that
little corner,
sheet,
that tight corner,
or do that 45. But bring that comforter, and put the pillows right.
I see you post that.
Am I the only one that don't
posted
mind
that.
Jordan cleaning up?
I mean, that might not be your thing. Everybody deal with stuff differently.
Now, see, I have a lot of house.
Oh yes,
you know she do.
I
have never been.
You can come, y'all.
I mean, she explained it. That's a lot of house.
A lot of house.
I have a lot
Like
of
a group
house.
home. That motherfucker big.
So I personally, I'm overwhelmed with the fact that I have to clean a lot of house. So I will do the basics. The kitchen gonna be clean, straight, whatever. Now, if you come in my room, the shoes gonna be everywhere. I didn't even realize I have that much shoes, but the shoes gonna be everywhere. The bed gonna be made.
I ain't never see you wear none twice.
You never seen me wear none twice.
Not the same.
So we got money. We got money.
I was thinking about that.
Have y'all ever seen her wear something twice?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
But I've been around for years, right? So a nigga slipped a t-shirt in there once.
And I've been knowing her for a couple years.
Don't do me that. But anyway, I wear stuff twice. That's weird. That's
I ain't gonna never see this dress.
Maybe not on camera. I feel like I'm the same way with my podcast. Like I don't wear the same thing to the podcast.
Exactly.
Like I can't wear this again for a while. Y'all done got me on camera. Like shit, it's $80. Damn.
Yeah, you damn sure can't wear that bitch.
$80 out. Like,
You damn sure can't wear that bitch tomorrow.
I definitely can't.
Nigga be like, damn, she's still
really comfortable. She
she's still the breast. She wearing the same clothes.
Different forms of depression, baby. Okay.
So Bella,
and I really want to hit this point.
Oh, you want to go? Yeah, go ahead.
Last healing thing.
Okay.
We have so many people in our lives. We know who pours into us. We know who the people who are pouring into us.
Yeah.
I realized this year that I need to call those people that pour into me, and they don't feel like I'm hitting them with a whole bunch of burden and shit like that. As soon as I call them, they be like, "Yo, Tori, what you got going on? I know you got some shit brewing. Like, yeah, I didn't see your fucking post today." Like, they really immediately pouring into me because I know I'm that person for a lot of people in my life, and I just need to be more like, let me call this motherfucker up, you know, because I know he's gonna pour into me, and not, you know, sometimes I do, like I said, I go days without talking to people, but because I feel like a burden. But those people who pour into you, you're never going to be a burden.
Can I ask you something, Tori? If that's okay, are you hesitant to ask for help?
Oh, for sure.
Let me tell you something I just read recently. It kind of hit to me because I'm the queen of I don't ask for shit. Right. I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna figure it out. Then I'm like, damn, I should have asked for help. I'm stuck. These people are waiting on standby for us to ask for help. And when I read that shit was like, they're just waiting for us. That's their job. They're positioning our life from God to just accept the help.
But you gotta.
Oh my God! I know
you gotta definitely have the right people around you.
You gotta step out of your own way.
You do.
And that's what. Remember, we talked about our New Year's shit. We gotta step out our own way, and that's what I'm working on. Like step one, calling the people who I know is gonna pour into me. Like, bitch, you could be. Like I told you earlier, I had two separate people. Exactly. You gotta think big.
You need to be thinking big, bitch.
I kid you guys not. I had two separate people, two different states, two different locations, two different friend groups say, Tori, you are a fucking genius. And I quote those words. Tori, you are a genius. But when you realize it, nobody else is gonna be in your fucking way.
Look, you gotta think about like where you come from. Look where you at now, bro. Like when you a chief, bro. Like you gotta understand how unattainable that is. I know some niggas now that can't make shit to save their life.
Can't make first.
Couldn't finish boot camp to save their life. Couldn't do nothing to save their life. As on top of that, you a black female that became a chief in the United States.
Let me add a mechanic.
A mechanic of all friends,
chief mechanic. That's why your views look like.
Can we get an applause for Tori real quick?
You already done did the impossible, niggas. Like, so what else is gonna stop you? And you just sometimes and the reason why I say that shit is because like sometimes I gotta do that shit to myself too. When I start to get a little hung up on shit, like nigga, look at the shit you done did.
Then got through.
Do y'all feel like you? Sometimes I feel like I can't sit in what I really am. What I mean by that is, like all the things that you say, sometimes I can't sit in that because I feel like it's not enough.
But no, it's good. It's
you
good.
know, like sit in what your achievements have been. But when you sit in it, yes, I am successful.
Yeah.
Yes, but you know, growing up, you know, you gotta be. you got to be this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be. I think black women have a lot more stress just because the white man, the black man, anybody else but us can do the bare minimum. You see it on social media as well. Black man, white girl, whatever, whoever the demographic may be, can literally put the camera up and do nothing. Make their coffee, walk out the door, whatever the fuck they're doing, and get all kind of accolades. Oh wow, that was amazing. What did you do? Black women do it. They gotta show their ass. They feel like they have to show their ass. I show their asses. I show additional things because it's just never enough that we just do the same bare minimum. Because the comment is gonna come like, well, shit, Susie did that. You just copying off of Susie. But Susie do it, April do it, Amanda do it, and everybody getting the same amount of likes without the comments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's always a struggle to sit in with who you are and do what everybody else is doing, whatever the case may be, and it's just very hard.
That's why you gotta take that pause for the cause. Y'all hear that? Pause
Also,
for the
pause for the
cause.
cause.
Remember
I
that
just
shit?
thought
Y'all
about
made me
something else.
cry in
It's
real
okay.
life.
Me being
In real life?
me being a Panther helps also with like my like healing in a sense, because like I like to work with a lot of kids and shit. Anytime we get an opportunity to talk to some kids, I be looking for the one that be sitting back thinking. I remember a kid came up to me and he was like, what you want to do when you're in school? Because I have two masters, one in theatrical arts and one in film production. So when I be speaking to a kid, I be like, what is it that you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Some kids be like, and one kid said, I want to dance. I said, okay, what you want to do with dancing? You know what I'm saying? But he didn't think, like, nigga never fathomed going to school to dance.
Going to school.
I said, eventually, if you go to school for dance, you could teach it. I can't go to no school. Who told you couldn't go to school? Well, my mama said, that's where you're going to stop now. A lot of time, people put limitations on you based on limitations they already accept for themselves.
Yes, sir.
And I remember that's how I ended up joining the Marine Corps. My recruiter was like, who told you couldn't be a Marine? Did you tell yourself you couldn't be a Marine, or somebody else told you couldn't be a Marine? And when I sat down and thought about it, I'm like, well, somebody told me I couldn't do it. So when I'm talking to these kids, I'm like, whatever you want to do, if you say you can do it, you can do it just by even thinking it. Everything in life, give you a little science. Everything in life has potential energy. Everything in life has potential energy. So if you throw out the potential to say, I'm going to do it. I remember one time when I was a kid, I used to see California on TV all the time. Like every movie I love, California is probably based on it. When I was young, I'm like, I'm going to move to California one day.
It's beautiful there.
And I remember I never thought it would be fucking possible till I got here. And I'm like, sometimes I be telling my fiance, I'm like, sometimes I be like, I know it to you, since you're from here, you like, oh, this is just California. But to me, it's like, nigga, I'm in California.
We
You
got
know what I'm saying?
Tyson on the house
Big
rolled
facts.
up.
You feel
all
me?
The houses lined up.
Hey,
and shit.
before I move to the next topic, I want to ask Bella, because she had to step out for a minute. But we used to talking about like things we do to heal from our mental health and stuff like that. What medicines do you use outside of actual clinical medicine? What do you do to get over outside of like giving yourself pep talks and stuff? Do you have like any activities that you do to help you get through your mental health issues and stuff like that when you feeling a certain way?
I think being in the elements helps.
Yeah.
Getting outside. Like, I need to be outside, being close to nature, praying. I'm definitely somebody who likes to sit with myself. Sometimes not even to pray, just to be intentional about what I'm thinking about and just sit in that. You know what I'm saying? And then also going back to what Tori said, pushing out that humble narrative and bigging up yourself. Like, I accomplished this and I did this and I made it this far because of me and I worked hard and I got this and I got that, because I feel like a lot of times we live in a society where we live in a society where they kind of force you to be humble. You need to be humble. You don't need to brag, or you can have the humble brag. Like I can be like, well, but I can't be like, I got that big boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't want you to talk your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, really be like, no, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I did it. And I feel like that helps to be able to, like she said, sit in your accomplishments, sit in your success, even if it's not where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not where I used to be. And remembering that is important, because ultimately at the end of the day, I do feel like it adds to depression when you gotta be humble, because then you seeing everybody else and you like, right, you don't feel like I've done enough, I'm not doing enough. But when you are able to stand on your 10 toes, you stand up and you say, you know what, no, let me poke my chest out a little bit,
right?
Because I pay for this house, I pay all my bills, you know what I'm saying? I am able to take myself out and take you out and buy my groceries and do this and do that, and I got savings in the bank. No, I did that. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, at the end of the day, when you're able to do that, I feel like it helps. It helps you. Yeah, no, definitely. When you're able to get yourself out of that box in your head, I think it helps. And for me, it definitely helps. Yeah. Besides, definitely, I'm not super I'm not a super spooky spiritual person, but I am somebody that
not spooky
is relational. I have a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And I pray. And I'm gonna take my time to ask for peace. I need peace right now.
100%.
I need peace of mind. I need grace. You know what I'm saying? And being outside helps with that as well. When you go on a hike, let me sit outside and just take it all in. Thank you, God, for just opening my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Because some people don't have that. I can see, I can walk, I can talk, I can breathe, I can move. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta do that. Seriously.
Once you start listening, you start listening and listening like, yo, I'm rich in this. Like, I'm winning.
Yeah,
you gotta list it though. You know what I mean? It's not materialistic.
What made me realize that shit is when I went home and like one of my homies like, bro, like you like, nigga, do you understand? Like a lot of us back home, you are living our dreams. Yeah. You are living like some
to move in Cali.
You will move to Cali, and because I come from like a small town, it's like, nigga, you move to Cali and you making a name for yourself. Nigga, you on a podcast, you on the radio, you was in a movie, and some niggas would never dream of that shit a day in your life. And you don't realize, because I'm a humble person myself, I do not like speaking on my personal accolades or none of that shit. So a lot of people don't know a certain shit about me. But it's like, sometimes like you got to, because that shit, you'll get in a funk, think you ain't doing shit, and you got to remind yourself like, nah, nigga,
you is the shit.
You ain't where you was.
got to be your number one fan at the end of the day. That's it.
I'm gonna say a few things real quick, man. First of all, I want to say what you was talking about going outside. Take advantage of living in California, because there's water out here. That water will re-energize you, whether you know it or not. So go see some water, go sip out some water, go take a hike, something like that. Another thing I wanted to say was, I just seen something that said that whole I'm him shit is a turnoff. And I read that and was like, okay.
You him.
Yeah, if you him, you him. If you a woman and you say I'm that bitch, you that bitch. Like,
I say I'm her. I say I'm her.
Right.
Hold on. We gotta realize
we heard out here.
Him to her.
But that's fine. You ain't gotta be him to everybody.
But if you believe it for yourself, you gotta believe it within yourself though. That's where it matters at.
I'm him to me. You know what I'm saying? If I say I'm him, I'm him. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. But that's what I'm saying.
You're not him to her.
But I might need to remind you that I'm him to me.
But guess what? She's not for you. Because let me tell you something. If somebody ain't for you, they ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got to be him to everybody else. I heard some shit that said, hang around winners. So that way, when you talk about your accomplishments, it don't sound like you bragging.
Nobody's offended.
Nobody's offended when you hang around other people that's doing shit. Hang around winners.
I'll say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Personally, I feel like this circle here, I can say all the things I've done. I can say all that, and I don't feel like I'm bragging. I don't. Right. I feel like everybody here. I don't like hanging. Okay, this might say some shit about y'all.
It's okay.
I don't like hanging out with people who are not doing the next thing.
Of course.
We're here, but we're doing the next thing. You know, I don't like hanging out with people like that don't have any ambition, drive, or let's move on. You know what I'm saying? And I do appreciate that about this circle. I appreciate that everybody's trying to do the next thing, and that's why I love Sarah so much, because I can just feel it in her spirit when I talk to her that there's levels to her, and it's not just where she is right now or where she's been. Right. So I appreciate that about every single person in here. Because I definitely see it. You know what I'm
Big
saying?
facts.
Like Issa Rae said, stop trying to aim for above you. People doing the best and you want to be cool with them. Ain't beside you. We the people. We y'all here every Thursday shooting. Y'all need to hang out with each other. Y'all need to elevate together. That's what you gotta think about. You know?
For sure.
Look around, people.
We out here.
Yeah.
All right, well, real quick, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna take a little intermission. We're gonna get us something to drink, and
y'all
we'll be
bougie,
right
y'all
back.
do that? I like this.
We'll be right back.
I know y'all do this.
All right. Shoot, Tori got
Cut the feet. Hey, when I come back, I'm gonna introduce you.